Good evening and welcome back to the channel. It's over and over and over again. My name is Richard and this is the Arsenal Women's Show. We are back, of course, the start of your weekend. Now, finally, we've got some matches to talk about. Of course, we have played twice in the last week. The first two matches of 2025. They didn't go too badly either, did they? Two very good victories. Win another cup semi-final. Everything is going too well, isn't it, really? We're just waiting for it all to come crashing down. Is it going to be this weekend? Of course, we go to Chelsea, the champions, the league leaders. A must-win game. Wow, what a big game that's going to be. So we're going to look ahead to that. And, of course, next midweek as well, the FA Cup delayed, of course, following a postponement of the game against Bristol City. That is taking place on Wednesday. So we're going to look into that as well. Plus, of course, all the usual stuff, your comments and questions as well. And, of course, it is all coming up. The start of your weekend starts after this. And, of course, joining us, as always, is, of course, the Lord Andreas. How are you this week?
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, not bad at all. Just to correct you, we are not waiting for all to crash down. We are waiting to continue this winning streak we have and this good times we are in now.
Well, we hope so, obviously, but sometimes it just feels as though that's about to happen, doesn't it, I suppose? But hopefully not this weekend because it's such a big game. We'll obviously look ahead to that a little bit later on. And, of course, if you haven't seen Andreas's vlog from the Crystal Palace match last week, definitely check it out. It is fantastic, as always. And it's had a lot of views as well. As always, it's getting now, everyone seems to be getting more and more views, which is great. So, obviously, people are enjoying it. So if you haven't seen it, do check it out because it is very good, as it always is. We've got Dean with us already. How are you doing, Dean? Good to see you, my friend. Hope you are well and looking forward to the show. So I suppose, we do like to do things chronologically on this show. It sort of makes sense to us. So we are going to go back, of course, to last weekend. The first game, finally, a game we had to see. It was fantastic, wasn't it, to finally get a game. And it didn't turn out too bad in the end either, did it? And, of course, it ended up with a brilliant 5-0 victory, of course, against Crystal Palace, which, there was a few predictions in the chat last week, wasn't there, along a similar sort of lines. We expected the games pretty much, what we said last week was pretty much what happened, wasn't it? We got the early goal, but it was quite a slow start, wasn't it, in the first half? We seemed to be a little bit like we were off the pace a bit. And then, of course, in the second half, we got the second goal and it all seemed to fall into place. And, it was great to get back into it in such a convincing win. I mean, I think it was good that we played maybe a team like Crystal Palace in this game to get started again, following the week extra that we had off compared to a lot of other teams. So it worked out pretty well. And in the end, it was quite a convincing, comfortable victory, which I think we expect. I mean, obviously, Andreas, you was at the game. We saw the vlog and everything like that, we said. So what did you make of it all? Because we took a while to really get into our flow, but I think we kind of expected that anyway, didn't we?
Yeah, it was as expected. And I mean, after 4 weeks winter break, if you could give a wish against which team you want to start, then it would be a team like Crystal Palace. We had the expected difficult start or rusty start. As I said, an early goal helps, and we made this early goal after 6 minutes from Leah Williamson, and you could see on her reaction how much it meant to her to score after more than a year. And it was another goal after a corner, after a set piece. That is one more thing we have improved during this season. Of course, the first half was not the best. We didn't create enough chances, we controlled the game, but it was, we had such little chances, but I never had the feeling that we will score now a second or third. It was all I was hoping. Let's keep the 1-0 till halftime, and then I think Renee will find the right words, and let's hope for a better second half when things click better, or when Palace will get tired. But the second half showed what we are able to do. And once again, thumbs up to Renee and her ability to react and to change things. Once again, she made changes after 10 minutes in the second half. She brought Caitlin Ford on. This was my hope at halftime. I thought Caitlin could be needed, or she could make a change. And really, she made the change in the second half, because she's a player who stays on the wings and brings the crosses in. Or for the first goal, she gets the ball on the wing, then she dribbles inside the box. She has the confidence to shoot. And it was brilliant from Alessia that she managed to score from this situation. But the goal was more than 50% on Caitlin. And 4 minutes later, it was a brilliant team goal from the back from Leah. Then going to was it Katie, and then Leslie, and then Beth. It was a brilliant team goal, and all 10 minutes after Renee had made the change. And it was not only that she brought on Caitlin. I think Katie McCabe changed to midfield, and Mariana changed back to midfield from the wings. So these were small adjustments, but seeing that it's not necessary to continue with the back four against Palace, because they were not threatening our defense, and the back three was enough, and therefore have an overload in midfield with Katie McCabe. This was very good, and as we always said, the manager must have a plan B. What we criticized by Jonas, Renee seems to have a plan B, and she's willing to make the changes early in the second half. So in the end, 5 goals, fantastic, and the atmosphere was good. And I think it was the best that could happen to the restart of the season. Yeah, we were all satisfied, and and for me personally, I thank everybody who watched my vlog, because I realized that I had on YouTube more viewers than Tim Stillman with his Askcast. We all love Tim Stillman, and I hear him every week. His analysis Mondays, and I know that he has his app where he has a lot more viewers, and Spotify, everything. But on YouTube, my matchday vlog had 100 viewers more, and therefore thanks to everybody who watched it.
Yeah, so we get the victory on that particular one this week, which is good. And I'm pretty sure there's been other ones in the past that's probably got more views on YouTube as well. There was, I think, one before Christmas. Was it the Bayern Munich game had 700 views or something? Yeah. So they're getting obviously YouTube like them because they're pushing it out to people and stuff like that, which is great stuff. And it was a great vlog. As Greg says, he says, evening Richard and the Lord, he says, and the chat, he says, good vlog, but no Gunnosaurus. No, there wasn't this week. We were a bit disappointed there was no Gunnosaurus, but I guess Gunnosaurus was busy at the end of the day. He's got other stuff to do. He can't always appear on the vlog. He's got other stuff to do. So, but yeah, we did miss it, but it was good nonetheless, and we did enjoy it. And yeah, I mean, everybody that's watching it, it's great to get you on board with the channel as well. So, but yeah, I mean, it was a great result in the end, and I thought the second half was good. And yeah, you're right, Renee seems to make the right changes at the right time. When we talk about the Brighton game, where the same thing happened, almost a repeat of the same game, wasn't it? And it's good. I know some people were critical of the first half in both games, actually, and I can understand why, because it wasn't necessarily pretty, but I think it was important that we start games in the right way, and by the right way, sometimes that just means making sure you don't do anything silly, don't make silly mistakes, and give yourself the platform to build into the game. And that's what we've done really, really well. Maybe not just in the last 2 games, even when you look back in some of the games before Christmas was the same, you know. And I think people sometimes expect us to go flying out of the traps and score 4 goals in the first 20 minutes and get the game won. And that's not necessarily realistic, because what you're going to do is you're going to leave yourself open at the back. And I think what Renee's done really well for me, maybe that Jonas didn't quite get that balance right. She seems to have got it right between making sure we've got a really good defensive structure at the start of the game, so we're not going 2 goals down early on as we did against Chelsea last time. And then she's kind of building us into the game and then making the changes in the second half to go on and get the goals to win the game and make it comfortable. And I'm really impressed with that. And yes, the first half's been frustrating. The first half against Crystal Palace was frustrating. I thought the early goal, we would go on and we probably would score 3 or 4 in the first 20 minutes and get it wrapped up. And maybe the early goal created that situation. But no, I'm really happy with, I was really happy with the way that we managed that game from start to finish. And, you know, winning 5-0 is the game lasts 90 minutes. If you're not 5-0 up at half time, it doesn't matter. If you win the game comfortably in the end, which we did, it's fine. You know what I mean? You don't have to win it in the first 20 minutes, 15 minutes. You just have to make sure that you're in the game all the way through and you got the quality to get the job done. And that's what we've done. And I was impressed with that. I thought the performance was good. And yeah, Crystal Palace gave everything. You know, they played well. I thought they gave it everything. They had 1 or 2 moments. They could have scored in the first half, couldn't they? They had a good chance that maybe she panicked a bit and rushed their shot and put it wide. But I think they'll be reasonably pleased with how they played. I think they'll learn a lot from that game. Might help them to, you know, survive in the league if they know they can have a good 20 minutes spell against us, which they did in that game. They maybe can build on something like that for them. So I think it was good for them as well. But yeah, the important thing was that we won that game and we won it fairly easily, because I think if we'd only won 1-0, although it would have been good to get the 3 points, I think people would have thought, oh, is that really acceptable? Is it good enough against the team that's just come up bottom of the league? No, probably not. So to win 5-0, no complaints. I don't think anybody could have any complaints about that game, about the performance in the end. And of course, like you said, the atmosphere sounded amazing. As well as it always is at Meadow Park. Let's be honest, we know it's going to be good at Meadow Park. It generally is. We've got Unbiased TV says, shake it Caldente, twist and shout. You know, you twist. So we'll talk about Mariona Caldente, of course, when we come on to the Brighton game shortly. Terry's with us says, evening Richard, Lordy Lord, Greg, Dean, all in the chat. Hit the like and subscribe button on the way in. Yes, indeed, please do. Matt is with us as well. He says, hello, beautiful people. Unbiased TV, I suppose this must be the team for Chelsea. It is, yeah. So Van Domslaar, Fox, Williamson, Catley, McCabe, Cooney, Cross, Volti, Caldente, Marnham, Ford and Russo. Yeah, probably not much different from what it'll be. Pretty much our strongest team at the moment, I would say. Terry says, at least one more to add. Lordy Lord, I had a chance to see it. Oh, you have to get on it, Terry. Make sure I'm sure you will at some stage. Matty says, is Volti fit for the game? Well, I mean, they said she was. Yeah, it was in the conference. We'll talk about Chelsea a bit later. But yeah, Crystal Palace, a brilliant start to the year, delayed start to the year. It was worth the wait in the end, wasn't it? And it was good to get the 5-0 victory, which, yeah, as in the end, it put us second in the table, didn't it? Because Manchester City lost to Manchester United in the derby. So that was quite interesting. So we're now second in the league. And considering where we were when Renee took over, we were like, what was it, 5th or 6th or something, wasn't we? We was well down the league. You know, to come back and be in second place now is remarkable, really. And hopefully this is just the start. Second isn't good enough. We want more than second, don't we? But considering where we were, we've got to be over the moon, haven't we? That we are second in the table for the time being. And of course, it's not only the league that's important, is it? Of course, on Wednesday, we began our defence of the League Cup, or now called the Subway Women's League Cup. And again, looked like on paper, a potentially tricky tie away at Brighton, who are going pretty well in the league. We did beat them 5-0, of course, in the WSL at the Emirates, of course, earlier in the season. This was, in the end, it was quite comfortable. But again, a slow start, but doesn't matter. We're in another semi-final. And of course, as already been mentioned slightly, this game was all about Mariona Caldente. I don't think there's much doubt about that. It was 0-0. It was fairly uninspiring, I suppose you could say, until the moment when Mariona stepped on the pitch and suddenly we saw not only her quality, but I thought we saw the quality that the team's got as well, because she not only showed her best, but she brought the best out of everybody else around her, didn't she, with the way that she played. And you know, it was Caitlin Ford who maybe had the impact from the bench against Crystal Palace. There's no doubt on this particular game who had the impact. Of course, it was Mariona. What a performance from her. To get player of the match when you've only played for half an hour, I think shows you what a half an hour it was. I mean, it was quite amazing, wasn't it? Her performance, just incredible. Okay, we were gifted the first goal. There's no doubt about that. But after that, the football we played, the goals that we scored, it was wow. That's what we needed, I think, going into the Chelsea game. The way that we played in that last half an hour, I mean, that's probably one of the best half an hours we've played all season, in actual fact. Because Brighton are no mugs. Okay, they're not a top team, but they're certainly no mugs. And to rip them apart the way that we did, some of those goals were just incredible. I mean, Andreas, some people have maybe questioned Mariona a little bit. Maybe she's had a little bit of backlash from the fact that she's replaced Viv, but there's no doubt how good she is. And I thought Wednesday night, that was a performance that you sat back and you thought, wow, you know, you can see that she's played for Barcelona, won all those Champions Leagues. I mean, that was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, she made the difference when she came on. And not only that, she changed the game, she made every player around her better. But by the way she plays, or the passes she gives, or the space she creates for the others. And the whole game was like a blueprint from the Crystal Palace game. A rusty first half in which we controlled the game but not created too much chances, except the first early goal. We didn't score the early goal from the Palace game, but we had a lot of changes in the lineup, so don't forget this. And if you see our defense, the goalkeeper and 3 players from the back 4 changed to the game before. So it was very important that we are stable in defense first. And this was, I think, the main tactics for the first half, being stable in defense and just get control over the game. Of course, everybody would have liked to score early. Every player would have liked to score in the first minute, or like away at Spurs, a goal with the first attack. Anyway, we controlled the game, and then once again, after 56 minutes, Renee made the changes, and this time she brought Mariona and Emily. No critics to Katie Reed. I think she looked comfortable on a position what's not her natural position as a fullback. But yeah, I think she made a good match. But of course, Emily Fox is a step up for every team. At the moment, she's maybe the best fullback in the world. So if you can bring on Emily Fox, of course, this also changes the game. And Mariona, world class. Fantastic goals we scored, especially the third goal by Kyra was absolute goal of the month. And what's also positive is that the team didn't stop attacking after we were 1-0 or 2-0 up. They were still going forward, trying to create more chances, trying to score another goal. And that's another positive effect of the team at the moment. They are not, they don't stop playing forward, or they don't lay back and say, that's enough, and now let's defend the 1-0 or so. No, they are hungry for more goals, hungry for playing, for creating. Very positive aspect too. And once again, after I think 9 minutes after we made the changes, we scored the first goal, and 3 minutes later again and again. So it's compliments to the coaching staff, and once again the plan B Renee has. And so I think there is nothing to mourn about. We can be satisfied with the 2 games with which we started the second half of the season, 5-0, 4-0, reached the semi-final in the Subway Cup, and we jumped on second position in the league table. What could we have expected more? People
exactly,
should be satisfied with this start or restart of the season.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's no team, not even Chelsea, dominate a game for 90 minutes and always scoring goals every 5 minutes. It doesn't happen. You've got to manage the game that you're in, and there's no easy games anymore. Not as there used to be. I mean, some games are slightly easier than others, I suppose, but there's no easy game. You can't take it for granted that you're going to win. You have to earn that right on the pitch, and that's what we've done in the last two games. We've built our way into the game, and in the end, the quality shone through. I mean, obviously, the Brighton game, what was impressive as well was the use of the squad, because we had a bench that our bench on Wednesday night is mainly a lot of the first team players, if you like, that play on a regular basis. I mean, that's not a bad bench to take away, but if you then look at the 11 that started, that's not a bad team either. That 11 that started are good enough to be in the top 2 or 3 in the WSL. It just shows what depth we've got. And Katie Reid, yes, I mean, she's playing out of position. She played at right back. She played at right back last time she played as well, didn't she? So she's playing out of position, really, because she's a centre back. I see her as the natural successor to Leah Williamson eventually, because I think she's got all the same attributes, and I'm sure that's where she's going to end up playing. But what a performance from her in an unnatural position. And you've got to give her credit once again. And it's not just her, is it? I thought, a lot of players played in that game that haven't played many minutes. Leah Cadane has not really played. Lotta hasn't really played, and yet they stepped in. And, okay, we wasn't tested defensively massively in that game, but you've still got to come in and do your job. You've got to be concentrated for the full game, and they were. And even Manu in goal, she didn't have a lot to do, but she did well what she did, and that's all you can ask, isn't it? At the end of the day, when these players come in, you just need them to do the job that they're there to do. And every single player that started that game, everyone that came on, made a massive contribution to the fact that we've got through to another semi-final, and as we go for 3 in a row in the League Cup, which would be quite something special. But yeah, the squad depth, I think that we're in a transfer window. We spoke about it before. We don't need to panic about bringing players in. We've just sent a load of our younger players who've just signed their first contracts. We've sent them out on loan in the Championship to get minutes. At this moment in time, the team are the squad are I think in a really good place with the depth that we've got, the quality that we've got, and you couldn't really ask for any more at this moment in time. It's what we all want to see. And yeah, that was what, obviously in the end, Mariona's quality was the difference, but the squad depth in that game for me was fantastic. Everyone that started that game hasn't played. They came in and did a job. And we know now that if they need to play in the future games, which they will at some point, we know they can come in and do a job, because they just did a job against Brighton in a cup game, which was an important game, and they stepped up and did it. So, yeah, so many positives. And again, it was frustrating first half. It was, watching it was frustrating. We didn't quite click, and a lot of changes probably contributed to that. But as I said before, the game lasts 90 minutes, and it's the end result matters. And how you get to that end result sometimes isn't always the most important thing. But in the end, we played some great football. That second half, certainly the last half an hour, was an absolute joy to watch, wasn't it? The way that we just knocked the ball around, got it wide, got balls into the box. I mean, you mentioned Kyra's goal, which was amazing. But I thought the move for Katie's goal was a fantastic team move, wasn't it? Quick passing, incisive passing, Leslie's ball across, and then obviously Katie tapping it in. That was a great goal. And of course, Mariona's goal at the end, again, a bit of a mistake for Brighton, but a fantastic finish. And wow, that second half will live long in the memory. And if we do win the League Cup again, I'm sure we'll look back on that game with fondness. And of course, the semi-final, the draw's already been made, and Man City got revenge on Man United, didn't they, by winning the second Manchester derby to go through. I mean, obviously, we played Man City in the semi-final 2 years ago at Meadow Park. We'll be playing them in the semi-final probably again at Meadow Park, you would imagine. I mean, Andreas, is that? I suppose that's not a bad. It's going to be one of the Manchester clubs, wasn't it? I suppose, but we've got a good record at home against Man City, haven't we? So I'm fairly confident that we can get to the final again. How do you feel about that semi-final?
It's knockout game, and it's 50-50 chances, I think. What speaks for us is that we are at home, and it's not quite clear whether we play at Meadow Park or at the Emirates. In the app, it's Emirates, but normally they said all the cup games are at Meadow Park. I think it will be Meadow Park.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's at home, and we shouldn't fear any team at home. We must be able to beat any team at home. And of course, Chelsea has the easier path with West Ham at home now. They had Durham, now West Ham. But if you want to win a cup, you have to beat any team that's in your way. And I'm sure Man City was not celebrating, knowing that they have to drive to London and play away at Arsenal. That's not what they wanted to have at the semi-final. Yeah, let's see. I mean, Man City is vulnerable due to their injury crisis. They are missing Lauren Hemp. We don't know about Banichon. They are missing Alex Greenwood, and I don't understand what Gareth Taylor was doing in goal, because in the first half of the season, Yamashita was his number one choice for the important games, and the Manchester derby last Sunday was a very important game for them, and they are playing Keating. She had a terrible game. She was not good in first half, and then second half started even worse for her. She's very low at confidence. Yeah, then okay, she played again, but I don't understand his decision making, because for me, Yamashita is the better, the stronger keeper, and Keating, we know about her problems she has in private life with this drugs affair or something like that. For a young player, you can't switch such things off, and maybe this had an influence on her game too. I would have never expected that United wins in the league against them, but once again we see if two teams face each other within a few days, no team wins both games. So that's the danger. That's the danger for us. We are playing away at City, and 3 or 4 days later we will host them at home in the semi-final of the Subway Cup. Can we break this rule and win both? I don't know, but anyway, it's a big chance to reach the final and face Chelsea for the third time in a row, because I think Chelsea will comfortably beat West Ham. Let's see. A special match for with Miedema again, and for Beth Mead, of course. It will be second and third time we face them, so it's not as the first match of the season. And after this, when I realized that we play City Sunday and Wednesday, I thought, okay, then we will draw City in the Champions League too, so that we face them two more times.
Yeah, we might well do. Yeah, I mean that draw's coming up, of course, next week, isn't it?
Yeah,
no, the week after. Next week, the week after. Yeah. I mean, it's strange how the game's worked out, hasn't it? Playing the same teams, sort of, so close together, but it happens, doesn't it? It's happened before. I'm sure it'll happen again. But yeah, I mean, at Meadow Park, if it is at Meadow Park, which I'm sure it will be, I'll be confident that we can go through. Absolutely. We did, obviously, 2 years ago, we won that game at Meadow Park, didn't we, in extra time. And I think we're a better team now. And like you said, Man City have got a few injury problems. So, it's a good time for us to be. And I actually think we can beat them twice. We won away at Man City last year in the league, ended that little run. We hadn't won there for a while. So that was nice. And, I've got no worries that we could do it again. We'll beat them twice again. But let's it's exciting. These are the games that, earlier in the season, and maybe up until now, still people have said, well, who have Arsenal played under Renee really so far? Okay, yeah, Bayern Munich was fantastic. But other than that, in the WSL, who have we played? Well, you can only play the teams that you play. You've got to play everybody anyway, home and away. And yes, a lot of the games we probably would have expected to have won. We've got some really, really tough games coming up now. This is the time of the season when it's all going to come. It's all going to either fall apart or it's all going to come together, because this is where it matters, isn't it? We've got massive games in the league. We've got the semi-final of one cup. We've got the other cups, the FA Cup starting up as well. And, of course, the Champions League, as you said, the draw's coming up soon and we'll be getting back into that again. So it's exciting. and it's going to be a massive test for Renee, who's still fairly inexperienced as manager of Arsenal. I mean, she's got experience of managing, as we said before, but it's exciting times, isn't it? I say these are the type of moments that you look forward to, don't we? We all want to see these games. We're all excited for them, and even more so now because of the form that we're in. You know, we're going into these games and I think, you know what, we can win these. We can win all of them. That's how I'm feeling. And I know it's not going to be that easy, and I'm sure we probably won't win them all, but we'll have a great chance. We absolutely, definitely will. Unbiased TV says Chelsea will be a good test. Well, it'll be more than a good test. It will be a very tough test. But yeah, it's a great test for this team. Absolutely. We'll talk about that obviously a little while as well. One somebody kind of says, Marnham can't play if we want to beat Chelsea. I don't know what your issue is with Frida Marnham, honestly. I don't. You know, in her position and the job that she does, she's the best that we've got. It means, you know, you can take her out of the team and we can put other players in there. Mariona can play in that position. We've got one or two others, but, you know, Leslie Russo can play there. We can put Stina further forward. But Frida Marnham is really, really good at what she does. And, you know, I'm sure she will play against Chelsea. And I wouldn't be surprised if she does well and scores a goal, because that's what she brings us in big games. She quite often pops up with goals, doesn't she? Terry Stairs, still sack her at the end of the season. What? So if we win the quadruple, you still want to sack her, do you? Even if we win the quadruple? I don't know. Unbiased TV says she's a baller. No, she is. Yeah, absolutely she is. Unbiased says, Terry, you're deluded. He just doesn't like Renee. We don't know why. Radra says, Renee for life, Arsenal. Well, yeah, at the moment, I'd say, yeah, we definitely need to keep her. Once again says, Mariona is quality. Well, yeah, Mariona is definitely quality. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Greg says, we were lucky Brighton couldn't get a shot on target with our keeper. Well, yeah, I guess so. But, you know, she kept a clean sheet and did what she had to do, I suppose. Terry says, my eyes don't deceive me. I thought we were poor in both games, but thank God for Veggie. She was different class. Yeah, but you see, if we were, I don't think we were poor in both games. I thought we were slow starting both games. But if that was poor and we've scored 9 goals and not conceded any, then what happens when we actually start playing well? You know what I mean? Then that's not going to be bad, is it? If we can score 9 goals and not concede any, playing badly, although I don't think we did play badly, we just started slowly and took our time to get going, but that's fine. Matty says, Marnham is great in and around the box, but lacks in quality during build-ups, counters and ball retention. She needs to work on those and she'll be just fine. No, I understand that, yeah. Sometimes, you know, the ball might bounce off a little bit and maybe she isn't the most technically gifted player in certain aspects, I agree, but what she brings to the team is important and she plays a really big role in, and I think she's having a good season as well. You know, she's scored a lot of goals, and I think that she will play against Chelsea, and I think that she'll play well and be important to the team because she's generally important anyway. Unbiased TV says she's my favourite player, Frida Marnham. Well, there you go. Fantastic. If it's favourite player, that's what you want, isn't it? Matty says, can we all take a minute to appreciate how good Steph Catley's been at left centre back? Well, yeah, no, I mean, we've mentioned it on the show before already. Yeah, she's been absolutely brilliant. And I must admit, I thought she wasn't going to be able to adapt quickly enough to play centre back on a regular basis in the WSL, but her performances have been sensational, absolutely brilliant. And it's not a position that generally gets a lot of credit. You don't generally get player of the match. You don't generally get player of the month, do you, when you're playing centre back? But for me, Steph Catley, her consistency over the last 2 or 3 months has been amazing. I don't think she's made a mistake. I don't think she's made a mistake in all those games that she's played there. Fantastic. Yeah, you're right. And she does need to get the credit that she deserves for playing in a position that isn't a first choice position, is it? You know, she's been a left back mainly, so to fill in that position in the way that she does. When you think of how many other quality centre backs we've got, 2 played the other night, didn't they? Lotta and Leia. You know, and she's getting in ahead of them, and she's getting in ahead of them on merit because of how well she's playing. And I think she gives a good balance with her left footer as well, and I think that's maybe important. But you can't knock how well she's been playing. Greg says, unfortunately, Rich got to disagree. Walty and Little can't play 90 minutes. KCC and Rosa not great at creating, and no cover for Beth on the right. I don't think we've got enough depth. See, I don't know. I mean, I want to talk about Rosa actually in a minute because she got a full 90 minutes against Brighton. A little bit of a mixed game maybe, but she's not really played that much. I don't think Walty and Little can play together. I agree, but we've got one or the other with KCC. Don't forget Vicky's coming back soon as well. So I think we're okay there. And what we're doing is the way that Renee's playing it is she's playing with two, generally starting the game with two defensive midfield players. So they're not there to create, are they? They're there to keep the shape of the team defensively, which is working because we're not conceding chances, we're not conceding goals. And then in the second half, when we want to push on a little bit, then we're taking one of them off generally and bringing on a more attacking player, as we did the other night. And that's what's made the difference. So it's all about managing and having a plan B, as Andreas rightly said. And that's what Renee's doing. You know, it's all very well starting with all your attacking players, but then you leave yourself wide open. You find yourself 2-0 down and you've got a massive hill to climb. Whereas starting with it really tight, keeping it 0-0, and then bringing on your attacking players later in the game when the opposition are tight because they've not had the ball, that's a brilliant way to set up your game, I think. And I've been really impressed with it. And I think the squad depth is there. You know, you say we've got no cover on the right for Beth. Well, yeah, you know, Rosa is the cover, I suppose. But, you know, we can mix and match players there anyway. You know, Caitlin Ford can play on the right. We've got, you know, Mario Rosa can play on the left. I think we've got options with the players that we've got. You know, Leslie can play out wide as well with Stina through the middle. So I think we don't necessarily have like for like cover in every position, but we can mix and match the players. Unless 4 or 5 are injured together, we're going to be fine, I think. I'm not worried about the depth or the quality. It's just obviously hoping that not everybody's out at the same time. But that doesn't often happen, does it? Ryan says, need to practice beating Chelsea for when we play them in the cup final. Well, we've beaten them 2 cup finals in a row. We're pretty good at beating them in the cup finals, aren't we? It's just sometimes in the WSL we struggle sometimes against them, haven't we? Matty says, 3 things about Chelsea's style of play that we lack: ball retention, aggressive press, and freakishly fast counter attacks. Yes, I'm worried. Well, don't be worried, my friend. Do not be worried. We've got this. Renee will have a plan. Don't worry about it. Terry says, going on our last 2 games, we've got too many players off form. See, I don't think we have. I don't know. I've not seen that. Honestly, I haven't. We've got Ag with us as well. She says, late arriving from Sweden. That's fine, absolutely right. It says windy. It's very windy here. It's been like mad wind. Yeah, we've had some proper bad wind, but anyway, it seems to be dying off a bit now, which is good. Let's hope so. Matty says, Swedish brother in the house, indeed. He says not a brother. Well, no, but it's just a term. Don't worry about it. Anyway, talking about someone in the house, look who we've got in our house. It's is with us, super sub. Look at that, brilliant half-time sub, Mariona in the flesh. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Had a nice birthday, thank you for all the lovely birthday wishes. Had yesterday to recover. Next, because and that's a bit of sad news. That's the school I'm based in, because I'm an after-school club, and she was quite a young woman and died of the big C word. But because it's a Church of England school, they actually closed the school, and a lot of the staff attended her funeral, which I thought was very lovely. And she was a mummy and left children behind, so incredibly sad. So we pay our respects to her. But sorry, me being selfish, I had a day off yesterday, so a bit of recovery. Next, had a bit of a celebration. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And why not, indeed? You know, why not, indeed? It's going to be a big weekend as well, isn't it? So you need to get your energy ready for the weekend, don't you?
Oh God! Well, I told you, I'll be travelling back because I'm going down to see Goona Carroll, one of my besties down in Clacton. That's the only reason I go to Clacton. Next, not for Farage, as somebody called it out. Definitely, well, he's not even in Clacton, isn't he? He thinks he should be with Trump, but nobody likes him over there. Next, another story. No, won't go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, no, so yeah, time. Well, actually, probably I won't be driving, but yeah, we can listen to the men going down there, and then hopefully listen to the women coming back. But I won't actually watch it.
Well, okay, but as long as we can keep up with the game, that's the main thing, isn't it? Because it's going to be quite
very much so. So keep the faith.
It is going to be. Terry says, at last, some brains in the house. Of course. What more could we need? What more could we need? Matty says we need Stina back. Well, she sort of played a bit the other night, didn't she? So I'm sure she'll be back.
Well, she's not been well. And there's a lot. I see it in the school. My daughter's got I've been sneezing like a good one again. My daughter's got a chest infection, waiting for antibiotics. There's so much illness around. We've seen it with the men's players. And for Stina not to be let's face it, if you're going to start Manu, you'd have been, and no disrespect to Stina, because she's far better. But yeah, she obviously wasn't well enough.
No.
So I accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, she came on and played 20 minutes, whatever it was, and so hopefully that means she can play much more part on Sunday if needed, which I'm sure she will, and I'm sure she'll be able. She's got a good record against Chelsea. She's got scoring against them, so you know, I would definitely be tempted to throw her on into that game at some point, depending on obviously how it's going, I suppose, in the way the game plays out. I mean, Ange, obviously the Brighton game on your birthday, I don't know how much of it you managed to see through your, you know, vodka and tonics or whatever it was you was drinking, but you must have enjoyed the second half in particular, because we played well in the end, didn't we?
Well, yeah, and a few medicinal, and I was actually having with a fellow gooner a phone conversation. And it's not that I've given up on the game, because I knew it'd be a game changer second half, and of course it's when Mariona come on and suddenly the floodgates opened, and it was like, oh, there you go, there you go. And I did actually yesterday, because I had a bit of time on my hands, but I didn't go to work, to actually watch the set. But oh, good, I know, Rich, we're on all these same FB group thingies for the women, and every time somebody comes up about the Barclays YouTube thingy, the commentary is rubbish, the camera work is rubbish, it's appalling. And I mean, I really wanted to watch it on telly. It was half decent, but still very pixelated. The commentary I'll switch off from, it's rubbish. And so I thought, oh yeah, go. And I thought, I'll come back to it tomorrow. The result done. I was never in doubt, more importantly. I knew we'd turn it around second half.
Yeah, I mean, we had the quality on the bench anyway, didn't we? If necessary, we needed them, and that's what they're for. At the end of the day, you've got a squad, and you've got players on the bench for a reason, so that they can come on and have an impact in the game, and that's what they're there for. And they did, and that's what you need, which is good. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I mean, obviously, when the game's on live, I'm not listening to the commentary because I've got the sound off doing the show. But I've watched it back. Well, not all of it. I've watched bits of it back, highlights and stuff. And yeah, it isn't great. But at the end of the day, I suppose, look, it's the first season that they've got this on YouTube. Maybe they're learning as they're going along with it. Maybe they just will improve. You know, let's hope they do. It seems as though they're doing it because it's a way of everybody able to watch the game. And I think that's important. But yes, the coverage needs to be better. They need to improve it. I'm sure they will. But yeah, it isn't great at the minute. I don't think
sorry, for me, I mean, all right, I've got you. You're far more informed than they are. That's absolutely fine. But I do like to watch the game as well as doing your watch along.
Yeah, cool.
When you're watching, and it's the luxury of having it on your TV. And when it's so goddamn pixelated, and what did I see in that second half, which I didn't pick up when I watched it first time round? But there was some black line, which I presume, was it a cable or something? It's a bit like that hand when it's raining and they wipe. It's so naff. Cheap.
It was, that was annoying me actually. I don't know what that was. Obviously what they should have done was, if possible, move it out of the way of the cameras. In the way. But I mean, it isn't great at the moment. We've got to be honest, it isn't. But
it's new, it's in its infancy. Hopefully it'll get better. But I'm not. Oh, listen, come on. I'm an Ulster Scottish girl. I love anything that's on a freebie next fact. But it could be a bit better. Sorry, we have certain standards now.
Yeah, exactly. I think we want to promote women's game in the most positive way, and having the best coverage that we can give it is what it needs. But anyway, let's hope it does improve, because too many people are mentioning it, and it's not a good look, is it? I suppose. Kodja says Chelsea will batter Arsenal. Let's be real. Well, no, let's not be real. Well, no, let's be real. I don't think they will batter Arsenal.
Sorry, because I can't see the chat. Who said that?
Someone called Courtois Criminal. So there you go.
Okay. Right.
That's a criminal.
Well, we
haven't
played the game yet. We don't know.
Well, let's be honest. And GB99 says rubbish. I don't know what you mean. What's rubbish? I don't know what you mean. Are we rubbish? The show rubbish? Is Arsenal rubbish? I don't know. You'll have to elaborate what's rubbish. Let us know what is rubbish. We're quite interested. Matty says to Culture Criminal says, we've got 90 minutes to prove ourselves. Anything can happen in football. Absolutely, exactly. Of course it can. Absolutely can. Greg says, should have watched it on Arsenal app. Yeah, that was a bit better.
Yeah.
It was. I watched it on that one when the game was on, and I watched the highlights back, which was on the YouTube thing, so it was all right. But there you go. So Terry says, why is anyone listening to the comms on YouTube? You should be listening to Richard. I'm appalled with the chat. Well, you know what it's like. I don't know. Some people got their own choices, haven't they?
But they're a bit silly, aren't they?
Well, I think so, but what can you do? Anyway, you know, it is what it is, and at least we can watch the game, and I suppose that's the most important.
That's a big thing.
And there was lots of enjoy. I do want to know what Gbin 99 thinks is rubbish, though. I'm quite interested to find out, because a comment like rubbish in the chat doesn't mean anything, does it? I mean, you know, it could be that you mean it's a rubbish comment that you've made, but that would be true without any context to it. So let us know what's rubbish, and then we. But you obviously, if it's about us or Arsenal, then you're wrong, obviously. You might mean Chelsea are rubbish, and that's fine. We agree with you. Yeah, exactly. Matty says 30 plus of us in the chat. Let's get those likes up. Indeed, yeah. If you're in here, let's give us a like. Even if you think it's rubbish, give us a like anyway. You know, if you like, what's it, Gbin who thinks we're rubbish, that's fine. Give us a like as well. That is fine. And Ag says there this weekend Arsenal will win against Chelsea. Well, I do admire your optimism. We will come on to some score predictions when we talk about the game in a minute.
Yeah.
But let's hope you're right, because that would be amazing, wouldn't it, to beat Chelsea? Wow, I'm so excited for that game. So why don't we actually? I mean, look, come on, right? This is a game that I don't think I've been more excited about a game than I am for Sunday's game. Honestly, I am so excited for it. It's such an important game, and we'll come into it. Actually, let's get into it. Now, of course, we've got to hope this time that the kit man has done his job properly and he's got the right socks, first of all, because we know what happened last year. It all went wrong. It was because of the socks. We know that was the reason, because 2 weeks later in the cup final with the right socks on, we beat them.
Absolutely.
So we know it was the socks. So as long as we get our socks right on Sunday, I'm sure we're going to be fine. But this is a game that one of the reasons why I'm most excited about this game is because we sort of mentioned it before. Renee's had a fairly good run of games in the WSL. Okay, the Man United away game was a difficult one, but most of the other games you looked at for, actually, that they were nice games for her to have, because they were a chance to get some victories. Right, I'm not saying any game's easy, but the run of games was a nice run of games. Now we're starting to get into some real big games against the top teams, and this one in particular is. If you're going to judge yourself, we should, as Arsenal, we should be judging ourselves against the best. And the best team in the league is Chelsea. They've been the best team in the league for the last 4 or 5 years. And this is a test now to show, one, how much we've improved since they beat us at the Emirates, where they were lucky to win. And also, as well, in the overall scheme of things, that we're heading in a direction where we can compete with Chelsea. And that's what I want to see on Sunday. It's going to be tough to win there. We know that. But I want to see us for 90 minutes compete in that game. I want to see Renee's game plan. I want to see that put into action. I want to see the belief that our players have got that we can go there and get the result that we need. And that's why I'm excited to see how this plays out, because I think it's going to be totally different to last season's game, for example. The last few seasons at Chelsea away, we've struggled, haven't we? We've not won there for a while. I'm excited to see this new look Arsenal and how we tackle this game. I mean, Andreas, it's so much to look forward to, because it is the 2 best teams in the country, 2 teams in great form. It should be one of the games of the season, one of the games of the century. But is this new look Arsenal team, is Renee able to mastermind a victory away at Chelsea, which we haven't done for such a long time?
At least it's a really big game, and both teams are in a good form. Look at Chelsea. I think they played 19 games so far in this season in all competitions, and they won all except the draw away at Leicester, if I'm right. Every other game in Champions League, in the Cups, they have won. They very rarely Chelsea played really good, but they managed to get the win, and that's why they are 7 points clear at the table. And for this match, if we want to have a chance in the league, then we must win. For Chelsea, of course, it's at home. They announced that they have sold 34,000 tickets so far, what could be a new record for Stamford Bridge in the WSL. But in the end, for for Chelsea, a draw would be enough. It would keep them 7 points clear to Arsenal, and it depends what the Manchester teams are doing at the weekend. But it would be another big step for Chelsea to the title. So the pressure is more on us. But well, that's something a team like Arsenal, a squad like ours, must be able to deal with this pressure. And everybody says we want to play the big games, and this is a big game in which all the players and the coaching staff, everybody has to prove. They have to prove themselves that they are able to compete with, let's be honest, with the best team in the league. Not the best playing team, but the team who gets the best results and is clearly leading the table. It's an away game, of course, but it's a big stadium. We said it last season that maybe the big stadium might help us. It didn't help us because of the sock gate. Once again, we are not playing at Kings Meadow, where they are usually at home, and look how rarely Chelsea plays at Stamford Bridge. It's not really their home, so this is a good chance for us. And everything is possible in this game. And I think we will start and try to be stable in defense and get control over the game or over the midfield and not to concede early. We conceded I think 3 goals in the first half last season with the Sockgate game. We were 3-0 down, and we conceded 2 early goals in the home game at the Emirates this season. So please don't concede in the first minutes. Control the game, and if we have a first half in which we are not creating much, but we go with a 0-0 at halftime, then I would be satisfied. We will surely go into the game if we are not chasing 1-0, 2-0, and must do something. If we have the chance to go slowly into the game, then I have a lot of faith in our team and in our midfield. It will be interesting to see how our defense deals with players like Mara Ramirez. She's a machine, Carnerit is in very good form this season. Of course, Brighton, Lauren James is back. Erin Cuthbert, very physical player. But anyway, as I said, we want to play the big games, and here it is. It's a very big game, and don't be afraid. Of course, we should win if we want to have a chance for the league, but if we can get a result, a draw, I would be satisfied. Depends on how the game develops, but right now I would say a draw is okay, just to prove that we are able to compete with the best in the league.
Exactly, and that's what this is about, isn't it? It's about, like you said, we were that game was over last season before it had begun. The one at the Emirates was done in 10 minutes, realistically. Although we played quite well after that, it's difficult to come back. But I want us to go into that game and just be solid and tight. Even like you said, first half, I don't care if we attack too much. If we stop them from scoring and it's 0-0, that's the first half is the job done for me. It really is the job done. And if we can nick a goal even as well, then even better. But I'm more concerned with how we defend in this game, because Chelsea's scored a lot of goals. That they're a very good attacking team, and I think that if we defend properly and defend well, we're going to have a hell of a chance, because we've got players on that pitch who's going to cause them problems in the game. No matter how good Chelsea are, and they are a good side, we're going to have spells in that game. We're going to create some chances, and we're going to cause them problems. It's just that, can we take those chances when we get them? And if we do, we'll have a hell of a chance. If we defend properly, we'll have a really, really good chance. And we've defended so well under Renee. We don't concede many goals at all. Is it only 3? Bayern Munich game 5, isn't it? In total, I think we've conceded in all our 12, 13 games in charge. It's incredible. And if we defend like we have been, then I feel confident that we can get a result. Are we going to win now? I don't know. We will come to some score predictions in a minute. But winning or drawing or losing isn't necessarily the bigger picture for me. Is, as you rightly said, Andres, it's, can we show that we can compete with the best team? Can we, away from home, can we compete with them? And that's what we need to show that we can. And if we do, we'll have a great chance of getting a result because we're a good team as well. And there's no question about that. But yeah, let's show them that, you know, maybe under Renee, Chelsea aren't going to quite have things as much their own way as they maybe have been used to in the last few years, certainly in the WSL. That's what I want us to show. And that's why I'm excited to see how that plays out, you know, and see where how good Renee actually is. I think at the minute we maybe sometimes get a bit carried away because we've had some big wins against some of their lesser teams and we've done really, really well. But let's see, this is when we're going to see exactly what she's made of. Whether we lose the game or not, even if we lose, we can still come out of the game and say, well, this is how good Renee is because this is how she coached that performance. And you can still lose to Chelsea playing well because Chelsea are a good team with great players. So let's not get too down about it if we do lose. If we played well, then to me that will be a positive step in the right direction. If we get a result on top of that, then wow. If we win the game, wow. I mean, Ange, 4 points it would be. If we win that game, that's 4 points, that gap. Wow, we're back in the race, aren't we?
Oh, do you know what? It's so interesting because for the men, it's the North London derby. Do you know what I mean? And we know Tottenham are short, whatever. But yeah, for the all right, I know I'm going to go to the women's Tottenham game, but it's just an expected win. Yeah. Whereas Chelsea, it's your real nemesis, isn't it? It's because of what they've achieved under her. And my logical head, because I'm an Aquarian, says that I'll take a draw, but my heart, I want the win. Oh my God, I want the win because we've done it before. We've done it in the WSL. We've certainly done it in the Conti Cup. I just want that win. But I will listen, even if we lose, I'm not, I think people know me well enough. I ain't going to be dissing Renee, end of. I think she's done a fantastic job. Fantastic. And the players have been fantastic. Yeah. But also there's another little thing coming, Invincible. They ain't lost nothing yet. Mm-hmm. And if anybody could beat them, it's got to be us. Come on now. Yeah. Got to be us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
sorry.
No, you're right. And everyone's been saying, you know, we've had easy games, whatever it is. Chelsea have had easy games as well because they've not played us yet since Renee's been in charge. Have they? They've not played this Arsenal team yet. And this will be the best team that they've played. We're the best team that they've played this season. It will be on Sunday. And that's why I'm excited for it because let's see what they're about as well. I mean, you know, Sonia Bonpasta's got the experience, hasn't she, at the top level at Lyon, what she's won and everything else, right? She's a top manager, whereas Renee doesn't have the same experience. She's almost like she's learning as she's going along, but she has got some experience and she's won trophies. She knows what it takes. And that's what's interesting about this because, you know, it's like she's obviously, Sonia is like at this moment in time, probably the best manager in league football in women's league football. And that's where Renee is aiming to be, isn't she? That's where she wants to end up.
Yeah.
And she's got the potential to do it. And I think Sunday's going to be a really big opportunity for her to show this is what I can do. I got the feeling I listened to both the press conferences actually, and I felt, I know she wasn't necessarily saying disrespectful things about Arsenal, Sonia, but I got the impression that she feels that she's much better. That Chelsea team are much better than us and she's much better as a manager. I got that feeling from her and maybe that's just a confidence thing that she's got. I don't know what it is, but I'm desperate for us to wipe that.
Oh, let's burst the bubble. Sorry, I haven't seen either press conference. And to be honest, I'm too diehard. I wouldn't even watch Sonia what's her face next. So I cut my nose off, spark my face. That's why I wouldn't be a football manager. But yeah, sorry, that's just being big-headed. That has been a little bit disrespectful. I mean, I know you didn't say that, but
it was just the impression that I got from listening to her.
I'm sure I would have got that impression. So next,
yeah, I just felt that she felt superior to us and to Renee, and you can understand why. And look at what she's won. Look at what she's done in her career. So maybe that's what it is. But I felt that quite strongly. And I'm thinking, hopefully Renee's watched that. And that might give her a little bit of extra motivation because it's motivated me. I'd want to go out there and absolutely smash them all over the pitch on Sunday, having listened to her interview, which, you know, I'm sure she didn't mean it in the way it's come across.
Oh, I bet she did.
Well,
Sorry.
I don't know. I don't think she's disrespectful.
I'm so
She didn't sound,
biased.
she wasn't being disrespectful. She just came across as though her team and her are superior to us and to Renee. And I don't know. I don't think they are necessarily. And on Sunday we can prove it. And I want us to prove it. Did you hear that, Andreas? Did you hear her press conference, Sonia's, as well?
Not the whole press conference, but I think it's not fair to say she was arrogant or something like that. She's confident, and she has every right to be confident about herself and about her team. I mean, playing 19 games with this team, with a new team where she's new as a manager, and winning 18 of them. She has every right to be confident and to have belief in her team. They are top of the table with 7 points clear. So why should the manager of Chelsea say, "Oh, we are facing a very strong side, and if we are lucky, we will take it all"? No, she goes out and says, "We are the better team. We have the better squad. We proved it. We won 18 of our 19 games, and we are 7 points clear at the table." So it's normal that she's confident. And look at her. At her vita, what she won with Lyon, the Champions League many times. So, she is the top manager, and let's see. It might change, but for Chelsea's side, if we were Chelsea supporters, we would say, yeah, of course, our manager has to be confident before this game. It's okay. The better it would be to win there and say, "Oh, maybe you are not the
Sorry,
best."
Sonia.
Very nice to have this feeling on Sunday evening and say, "Oh, Chelsea, here is your first."
Who are you?
I would love this feeling.
No. I mean, yes. I mean, Chelsea have had 18 wins and 1 draw in 19 games. Well, since Renee's been at us, we've had 12 wins and 1 draw in 13 games. So the record's almost exactly the same. Almost exactly the same. Only Chelsea's runs a little bit longer because Sonia started the season as manager. Renee didn't. She's come in after a few games. So, but it's two teams that are clearly the two best teams in the WSL, two of the best teams in Europe at the moment on current form. Absolutely, they are. And it is a proper, you mentioned before about the men's team, Ange. It's like, you're saying that obviously the North London derby in the men's is a big game. Arsenal, Chelsea in the women's is the big game, isn't it? But this to me on Sunday almost feels like the old Arsenal Man United games under Fergie and Wenger. It feels like that bigger game now. And I know the rivalry is not quite there with these two managers yet because they're both new to the job. But in how important this game is and the way both teams are playing, I can see it being that sort of a game where the two teams just go at each other, and it's going to be so good to watch. I think I can't wait for it. I think whether we win, lose, or draw, it's going to be a fantastic occasion. A big crowd at Stamford Bridge. It's what the women's game is about for me. It's what it needs. It needs games like this, doesn't it? With a big crowd in the big stadium. The two top teams hopefully going for each other. And let's hope at the end of it all, whatever the result, we can sit back and say, wow, what a great game of football that was. What a great advert.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and that is why the WSL is as great as what it is. And that's what I want to come out. Obviously, I want us to win, and that would be amazing. But I'm looking forward to it being such a great game of football between the two best teams. I say two of the best teams in Europe at this moment in time. Absolutely. Ag says, I hope they've got the right socks. Yeah, we hope they've got the right socks. I'm sure they will have. I don't think we'll make that mistake again, will we, after what happened last time? Christ. Terry says, 11-1 Chelsea should have paid the money and got salty. Maybe we should have paid the money and got Sonia Bonpasta then. You think they're going to beat us 11-1? Ag says Chelsea put Kanyar, Bjorn and Muzovic on the bench and Arsenal will win. Or I don't know, Muzovic ain't that great in goal. I wouldn't mind if she plays, actually, because I don't think she's that great. But anyway, Greg says, I think we'll be lucky to come away with a draw. It'll be tough. Yeah, absolutely. I think we can get a draw. I think we can win. Ryan says, I hate score predictions, but 2-1 to Arsenal. Well, there you go. You don't hate them that much, do you? Because that's a great score prediction there.
Good man.
We love it, mate. 2-1. We'll take it all day long. Terry says, Chelsea have all the advantages, home game, and that's 5 fans behind them. Yeah, it made me laugh, actually. And I was talking about in the press conference, Sonia's press conference, about, it's going to break a WSL record for Chelsea, all these interest in the game. I'm thinking, no, it's Arsenal fans that bought all the tickets. It's not Chelsea fans.
Yeah, hello.
35,000 tickets sold. 30,000 have been Arsenal fans that's bought them. Chelsea fans aren't there, are they? So it's Arsenal fans that's taken over the stadium. So let's get it right. It's nothing to do with Chelsea. Chelsea's selling out the game. It's Arsenal fans that's bought all the tickets. Matty says, tough game, so I'm going 1-0 to the Arsenal. Well, 1-0 would be great as well, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. We'll take that. Greg says, the only weakness Chelsea have is Bronze on the right. She's too slow now, and Bright in the centre's no pace. Yeah, I agree. And I do think, particularly Lucy Bronze, I've been saying this for a while, I think she's past her best. And look what Caitlin Ford did to her at the Emirates when she got the goal. And I think she can do that to her all day long if she gets the ball enough and runs at her. Millie Bright I think she compensates for a lack of pace with the way she reads the game and how strong she is. And I don't think you can say she's a weakness. She's weak so if you run at her, yeah, of course, she's going to struggle. But overall, she's a good defender still, Millie Bright, and I've got a lot of respect for her. But if we play it in the right way, we can, as Renee said today, we need to exploit their weaknesses. And hopefully that's what we can do, because they've got weaknesses. Of course they have. And if we, and I think Lucy Bronze is a weakness, definitely. Matty says that Ramirez is scary. She can run for days. Yeah, she is actually, isn't she? She is quite scary, but she looks quite scary as well, doesn't she, when she's running at you? But,
I've got an opinion about that.
I'm sure we've got a plan to deal with her. So he says, if Russo can outsprint the Chelsea pensioner Millie Bright, we stand a good chance of scoring. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously Russo is going to be key, isn't she, anyway? Because she's our key player in attack anyway. So, and obviously she knows Millie Bright pretty well from all those England training sessions and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure that's going to be an interesting battle. And there's going to be interesting battles all over the pitch anyway. We know that there is. And let's see how that works out. Matty says, Chelsea going to be vicious on the press. They're going to force mistakes out of us and hit us on the break. If Slaggers can overcome that, then that's half the battle won. Well, yeah, exactly. We know, we know, Renee knows, all the Arsenal players know how Chelsea are going to play, because that's how they play. So everybody knows it. And you're right. We need to be able to find a way to counter that. And whatever way that is, we're going to wait and see on Sunday. I'm excited to see how we deal with it. It's not going to be easy, but we have dealt with it in big games before. And this isn't something new for Chelsea. It's not new from Sonia Bonpasta, is it? They used to play like that when Salty was their manager. So it's no different, really, is it? I don't think in that sense. So, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be prepared. Pensioner Millie, indeed. Yes, that's what she is. Well, she's a bit of a pensioner, isn't she? Which is what Greg says. They haven't lost anything yet, but they haven't won anything yet either. Well, exactly. That's a very good point. Yes.
That's a very good comment.
Yeah, you can be unbeaten in 19 games in the first half of the season. Doesn't matter. It's when all the trophies are handed out. That's when it matters. And you're right. They haven't won anything yet. Look at last season. They had a quadruple on until we beat them in that cup final, and it all fell apart, didn't it? So it can happen again. Maybe we beat them on Sunday. Their season falls apart. Who knows? We've almost fell apart their season last year. We can do it again. That's what we need to think, don't we? Terry says, well said, Greg. Indeed, it is. Yeah, it's a good point, that. Joe says, Arsenal's terrible start has made Chelsea look even more exceptional. Now, that's a good point as well, actually. I kind of like that.
That's really valid. Yeah, so
because if you think about it, if Renee had been at the start of the season and we'd started the season as we've been so far, we'd be neck and neck with Chelsea, wouldn't we, going into this game? So the fact they've got a 7-point lead isn't necessarily how good Chelsea have been. It's maybe that we had that poor start, given them that advantage. And I think that's a good point, actually. I hadn't really thought of it like that before, but that's actually a good point, isn't it? Because if we'd started the season as we've sort of played since, they wouldn't be 7 points above us going into this game. We'd be level on points, wouldn't we? Or we'd be closer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're right, actually, yeah. Although, to be fair, they've beaten everybody that they've played, which isn't our fault. They would have done that anyway, but we would just be closer to them. I still think they're a very good side, obviously. Anyway, 170 Gunner says, who do you think is our strongest two centre-backs? Well, that's interesting, because we've got quite a lot, haven't we? At the moment, for me, it's Leah Williamson and Steph Catley, because they've been playing and keeping clean sheets for fun. Andreas, who would be your two strongest centre-backs at the moment?
Yeah, at the moment, I think you can't take Leah and Steph out. They played really outstanding through all the games they were on. The problem is that Leah and Lotta don't seem to click so good as Leah and Steph do. And so if you don't play Leah and Steph, then there would be Lotta and Cody the better pairing. But as long as the first choice is available, I think we will start with Leah and Steph. Is it a long-term solution to have a left back as centre back? I don't think so. But at the moment, it was important to be stable in defense, and this pairing with Leah and Steph proved to be the best at the moment, and they will start at Stamford Bridge on Sunday. I'm absolutely convinced.
Yeah, I'll be amazed if that's not the case. Yeah, you wouldn't change such a strong partnership that's worked so well. And yeah, I agree. Is a left back playing centre back your best solution? I don't know. At this moment in time, it's difficult to think of a better partnership that we could have, even buying a new player in. You know, we've got Lotta and we've got Leah, and they're both very good centre backs. But Steph and Leah is just working. And I think the left foot and right foot is part of that. I think the fact that Leah reads the game well, she's got a little bit of pace. Steph's got a little bit of pace as well. Yeah, I think it's working. That would be, they are our two strongest at this moment in time. I mean, Andrew, who would you think is our two strongest centre backs at the moment?
As much as I love my birthday twin, it's your starting 11, isn't it, basically? Where you're able to do that, because obviously you always allow for the unfortunate. But yeah, if they're good to go, that's the pairing. It works.
Yeah, I don't think there's much doubt about that. I mean, maybe 170 going and give us who you think our two strongest centre backs are. Is it someone? Do you think it's not them two? Because you're asking the question, so you maybe think it isn't. I don't know. I mean, obviously, Lotta and Leah can do a job when needed. Absolutely, Lotta was player of the season last year. But at this moment in time, you can't look beyond Leah and Steph, because they've been brilliant together, both of them. Greg says, she's French. They always got their head up their arse. I know, I live with one. Well, yeah, maybe that's. But maybe a use of English language didn't help her in that interview. Maybe, because I haven't watched a lot of her. I watched that because it was interesting because we're playing them. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they do come across a little bit arrogant sometimes, the French. I don't think they mean to. I just think it's the way that they understand English, maybe. So. You know, I'm sure if I tried to speak French, they'd probably think I was a bit mad. But there you go. Terry says, to be fair, it's good she's confident. Losing hurts more. Yeah, that's true. It will hurt her more. We should expect to win. Exactly. That is answered the 170 Gunners question. Williamson and Catley's been rock solid. So they're my faves for now. However, Illustat may come in and raise the level. Well, maybe. I'm not sure she's going to be able to now. Obviously, come back up wave is not easy. But let's see. It's another player in that position to fight for a place. Terry says, Lordy, how can we all be Chelsea fans? It would treble their fan base overnight. And exactly, yeah, it would definitely if we were all Chelsea fans. Terry says, I'm talking about if everyone in the chat tonight was a Chelsea fan, then yeah, that would be it. It would treble
their sellout. End of. Thanks.
Yeah, it would treble their fan base, wouldn't it? If they were. Matty says, I don't see a lot of Wubben-Moy or Cadena dethroning either Williamson or Catley at the minute. No, absolutely not.
No, that's being realistic.
Yeah. Emerson's with us, and he's gone for a 2-2 draw. Wow, expecting a few goals. That would be. I mean, it'd be okay. I wouldn't necessarily be against a draw, but obviously, if we were 2-0 up when we drew 2-2, I think I'll be slightly frustrated and disappointed. But if we're 2-0 down and we come back and draw 2-2, I think
that's a different story.
Yeah. That's the thing with draws. I always find a draw is a strange result depending on how the game plays out. Sometimes a draw is great, and sometimes a draw is awful. Like the men Aston Villa last week, the draw was awful because we were 2-0 up. But for Aston Villa, it was a fantastic draw. Same result for both teams. So I think the draw is a strange one. It does depend on how the game plays out, I suppose. 170 Gunner says, I thought Lotta Wubben-Moy was our best centre back last season. She was, but last season is not this season, and that is, this season she's not really played, injuries and stuff, and Steph's come in and been brilliant. Terry says Cadena looked world class against Chelsea when she came on in the final, so she's got to be up there with a shot. No, she did. You're right. She played really well, didn't she? At half time, she came on when Leah Williamson was injured, and
I was there. I saw her. Yeah,
she was brilliant. Absolutely, she was. Although she hasn't quite managed to get back to that level, I don't think, since then. In a way, she's not played as much, but she did have a great game on that particular day. absolutely. Greg says, Lordy, why isn't it long term having a left back, centre back, having a midfielder, a centre back? Well, yeah, no, you're right. Players adapt to different positions, and sometimes you can play in a position by accident because you have to because of injuries, and it turns out to be your best position, and maybe it will work, and it has worked, but I don't know. Is that the future? Steph Catley has never struck me as a natural centre back because of her build, the way she plays, and I'm shocked at how well she's done at centre back. But while she's playing so well there, let's leave her there. Let's carry on because it's brilliant and she's so good. But is it a long-term solution? We don't know. Let's wait and see what happens.
Sorry,
But
can I jump in there? It won't be a long-term because no disrespect to our Steph, but she is of a more mature age. We're not quite, and she's got a partner. We're not quite sure of her plans. I'm going to argue, let's make the most of her while we got her.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Well, that's the same with everybody. No, you're right. But no, you're right about that. And, you know, obviously Amanda's gone off and had a baby and, you know, maybe getting to that, like you said, she's getting to that sort of age. Maybe that won't be something that's far away. But I think most women footballers that are wanting to have babies and stuff, generally they wait until their career's finished, don't they? And then they'll have children then.
Yeah.
But you never know. Like you said, who knows? But yeah, let's make the most while she's here.
Most of her while she's here. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. We are going to have to give a score prediction for this game. I know it's tough and I know it's going to be difficult and I know it's hard, but we have to make a score prediction for this game because that's what we're doing. Andreas, I'm going to start with you. What is your score prediction for Sunday? Is it going to be, are we going to be singing in the streets because we've beaten them? What is it?
It would be so fantastic to win. I expect a 0-0 at halftime, and then if we really manage to keep them with 0-0 at halftime, then I see good chances for us. I was thinking about my score prediction a lot. I don't expect many goals this time because I think we will defend very concentrated, and even if we say a weak point in Chelsea's defense could be Lucy Bronze against Caitlin Ford, or could be Millie Bright. But I remember that Millie had a very good game at the Emirates where she headed out everything.
She did.
Especially in the second half when we were the better team. So is she weak? A weak point in the defense? I don't know. If we come with pace, then yes. But no, we won't score many goals, and our defense is solid. We won't concede many goals. So I would love to win, but I say it will be 1-1, just because if it's for a longer time of the game, if it's a level, let's say it's 1-1 after 75 minutes, then the Chelsea players will realize, oh, the point helps us more than Arsenal, and they won't risk too much. And we are away. Will we risk everything to score a second and risk to lose this game? No, I don't think so. So therefore, I say 1-1. A draw helps Chelsea more, but it would be good for our confidence. And of course, I would love to win and celebrate in the evening. But the other side is I would hate to lose to Chelsea and see them celebrate 10 points clear to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's take a 1-1 and go with confidence in the next difficult tasks.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to not. It would be difficult not to be reasonably pleased with a draw away at Chelsea. Let's be honest, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Yes, it's not going to help close that gap, which we need to do. But yeah, I think overall a draw would not be a bad result. And what are you thinking? Are you confident that we can get more than a draw? Because we need to really, realistically, if we're going to win the league.
Okay. As much as it pains me to say it, we ain't going to win the league. I mean, please prove me wrong. Nobody's going to be happier than me, you, and everybody else. But just for this game alone, and it goes back. this is going to be the biggest statement for not just for Renee, because Renee is part of Arsenal. They're a whole package, and this is what I love about her. And let's call her a manager. End of. Yeah, it's a whole package here. Not somebody salty spouting their mouth off. Yeah, it's a whole package here. And for all of them, I'd love to see the win, but that's in my heart. Logical, yeah, a draw next. I'll take the draw. But yeah, I'd love that win. And yeah, 1-2 respectively. Yeah, I'd love it. I'd be so happy. It would really make my weekend. I can't be asked with the men tomorrow. They'll do. Who are they playing tomorrow?
Wolves.
Okay. Right, next. Yeah, they'll probably win it, maybe. I can't be asked next. But yeah, that would make my Sunday for us. Yeah. To do them 2-1, I'd be so happy. But I'm realistic. But I've got every faith in Renee and the girls. I really have. They're going to play well. Whatever the outcome, they're going to play well, and they're going to be real warriors.
They are, and that's all you can hope for, isn't it? At the end of the day, you can just hope that the team play well, and hopefully the result will come. Ag's gone 3-1. Wow, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Joe's gone Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3. What a game that would be! Wow, that would be something quite special, wouldn't it? Matty says, "I'm going with George Graham on this one to the Arsenal 1-0. That would be very good." Dean's gone up with Maggie 3-1 Arsenal. Keep the faith. Exactly. No, I agree with you. Greg says realistically 2-1 Chelsea. Hopefully 4-2 Arsenal. Wow. With us here, my friend. He says Chelsea 1. Another 3-1 to Arsenal. Wow, this is going well here, isn't it? Terry says if our girls are up for it, it means really up for it 2-2. If they're not, I can see Chelsea embarrassing us. No. I think one thing that's not going to happen is Chelsea aren't going to embarrass us. They might beat us, but they're not going to embarrass us.
No, it's not going to be an embarrassment. I'll totally believe that.
No, I mean, I kind of how I'd like to see this game play out is like 0-0 for a long time. Keep it 0-0. Frustrate them as long as we can, and then I think when we get to the last 20 minutes, if it's still 0-0, realistically, we've got nothing to lose. We need to win the game, because a draw at 7 points isn't really going to. We're not going to win the league if we don't win on Sunday. So I think in the last 20 minutes, let's just go for it. Bring on the attacking players. Let's take the game to them, and if it means they catch us on the break and beat us, then to me that's a risk worth taking, and I would be in favour of us doing that. I mean, if the game's in that situation with 20 minutes, if it's still, whether it's 0-0, 1-1, whatever it is, if it's drawing with 15, 20 minutes to play, I want to see us just go for it and risk it all and risk it. But if it pays off, it'll be fantastic and we'll love it and it'll be amazing. If it doesn't pay off and Chelsea catches on the break and beat us, then at least we've gone out fighting and showing that we were prepared to take that risk. I'd like to see that happen. And I think if we do that, I think we've got enough to win the game. I honestly do. I think we've got enough quality in our attacking end of the pitch to win that game. Because I think if we've frustrated Chelsea for 70 minutes, 75 minutes, and then we suddenly flick the switch, get the attacking players on and just go for it, I think we can beat them. And I'd like to see us try that. Whether it'll work out like that, I don't know. But that's my plan for the game. So Renee, if you're watching, I know you watch. If you're watching, that's what I want to see you do. Okay. And if we end up losing because of that, blame me. I don't care. I'd rather see us go for it and lose than just be happy with a draw and sit back at 1-1 and think, oh, the draw.
Yeah, no, I get that.
The draw is a good result, but it doesn't really help us. If we want to win the league, we have to win. So let's go and win. Let's do what we think back to. George Graham was just mentioned in the chat. Go back to '89. Arsenal played that game perfectly and got the result. If Arsenal can do the same on Sunday, and I think we can, if we play that game right, we can win. But let's try to win it in the end. If it's a draw, don't settle for a draw. I don't want to see us settling for a draw in the last 10 minutes. I want to see us trying to win it. If we're behind, we're going to have to go for it to try and get something, I suppose. But yeah, if we're level, let's push on and win. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. I think we'll do it. I think we will do it. And I think it's going to be incredible. And I think Renee will get a knighthood or whatever it is, whatever they get. So,
I'll give her a knighthood.
like Serena got for doing. That's what Renee's going to get. That's what she's going to get, 100%. I think we're going to do it. Patrick says Arsenal will run the show. Yeah, see, I like that confidence. You see, this is what I like to see. as will be determined as ever. No, I agree with you. Either Stina Blackstenius or Mariona Caldente can win it for us. I agree with that again. Oh, brilliant. I like that. He's talking sense here. And Queen Alessia Russo. Exactly, yeah. I mean, what more? How can we not win the game? Look at that. You know, we've got Mariona, we've got Stina, we've got Leslie Russo. How can we not win the game? Come on. We've got Caitlin Ford to rip Lucy Bronze to pieces for 90 minutes. Come on, we're going to win, aren't we? We are going to win. There's no doubt. Patrick Frida, yeah, Frida Marnham as well. Exactly, yeah. Look at the quality we've got. Come on, we're going to do it. We are going to do it. Renee is going to sort this out for us, and it's going to be fantastic. And it's going to be a great game anyway. Terry says, I'd give Renee the sack. Well, what if we beat Chelsea? You'll still give her the sack, would you? Ag says, we've got McCabe. We have got McCabe. Everybody thinks Arsenal are going to win. Everybody thinks Arsenal are going to win.
That's good. Terry. Positive.
But I think we will. Matty says, shake it, Caldente. Indeed, yeah. We'll be singing that on Sunday. Absolutely, we will. With our Sunday roast on Sunday afternoon, we'll be singing a Caldente song. It's great. We're going to do it. Come on, we are going to do it. I'm confident. And I'm not normally confident playing Chelsea, really, because normally we struggle, especially away. But I think we'll do it. But yes, let's do it 2-1. We are going to go for it and do it. And of course, after we've beaten Chelsea, we're all going to have to come back down to earth again, because on Wednesday we're playing another game in another competition, and it's another cup game which we have to win. And of course, we're going to be wearing that stupid white kit as well, which I don't like. But anyway, they're going to wear it, so that's fine. And we're playing Bristol City, of course, from the Championship. We obviously we spoke about this game a couple of weeks ago when it was originally due to be played before the weather got the better of the pitch. But it's going to go ahead on Wednesday, and obviously we should win. But coming after the Chelsea game and ahead of the Man City game, there's going to be serious squad rotation for this game, as there was against Brighton. You'd imagine there's going to be 7, 8, 9 changes to the game that starts against Chelsea, that starts against Bristol City. I mentioned before, I think we've got the squad anyway to do that and still win, because we're much better than Bristol City. But it's not an ideal time to be playing this game. It would have been ideal to have played it when it was due, but it is what it is. We have to play the game. We have to win. It's the FA Cup. Of course we do. And we know that if we win, we play London City Lionesses at home, which is another game that we've got a great chance of winning, building up an FA Cup run as well, which would be fantastic. But yeah, I'm not overly happy with the scheduling of this game, but it is what it is. And I'm expecting, a lot of changes. I'm expecting, a lot of the team that played against Brighton to probably play in this game. And it might not be quite as pretty to watch, but I still think we'll get the job done. I mean, Andreas, it's not ideal, is it, having to play this game now? It wasn't ideal it getting cancelled when it did. We can't help the weather, unfortunately. It is what it is, but we still should have enough to win. Whatever happens against Chelsea, we should still have enough to win this game, shouldn't we?
Yeah, of course, it's not ideal. Between Chelsea and Man City game, it's a mental challenge for the whole team, for the whole squad.
Yeah,
and we will. Yeah, it's more the mental challenge than the challenge from Bristol, because we know that we have the better team, and normally we. Yeah, but you have to be mentally on top, and we will see a heavy squad rotation. I think we will rotate in the goal and in defense. Maybe we'll see the same defense as away at Brighton. Then, in midfield or in the attacking line, there will be rotation. Rosa will play, and probably Stina will start. And of course, but it's necessary. It's needed to give the players a rest from the Chelsea game, and we need everybody with fresh legs away at Man City. So it's the difficulty is that the players who come on, that they click together and everything works together. But they proved it away at Brighton. So why not at home against Bristol? We should be the better team, even with our let's call it B team or whatever. Normally Bristol shouldn't challenge us in our defense. And over 90 minutes, we are the better team. We will create enough and dominate the game, and we will we will score enough goals to win this. It's, as I said, it's more the mental challenge than the challenge from Bristol, because Bristol, they will give their everything. Just imagine if they win at Meadow Park and reach the next round at home against London City Liners. What a chance for them. So they will give their everything and give their heart in this game. But it will not be enough against the quality we have. So we will win this, and I say we will win this 3-0, because we have the quality to be at least in the second half, when they get tired, to score the goals, or in case of need, to react from the bench. We could then bring on players like Mariona or Caitlin or Leslie, who probably won't start, and this will be enough to beat Bristol. So my prediction is 3-0. This would be very good in between these two big games. Let's hope for reaching the next round.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and maybe the result of the Chelsea game could have an impact on the lineup, because if we lose to Chelsea, that's the WSL gone, and then maybe let's focus on these cups a little bit more. So maybe the lineup might be slightly stronger. If we've beaten Chelsea, then obviously the title's back on, and I think there'll be heavy rotation in the Bristol game. But even so, we should have enough to win. Greg says we could put out our under-21s and win that game. Well, we can't, because all our under-21s have gone out on loan.
They've got on loan.
So we can't put our under-21s out because they don't have any left. But yeah, you're right. We should be able to win whatever team we put out. We're Arsenal. We've got the quality. We should be able to beat them at home. But I think the Chelsea result may have an impact on the actual lineup in the game. But let's see. I mean, 3-0 do us. Let's be honest. It's FA Cup. Let's go through and do it with the minimum of fuss. We don't want to have to exert too much energy in that game, do we? We want to save our energy for the Man City games coming up. So, but obviously win is first and foremost what we have to do. I mean, Angie must be confident that we'll beat Bristol City. We generally do when we play them.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident, but you just know their goalkeepers. I mean, all right, let's be blunt. Unless we, scoring-wise, we produce something spectacular, which our girls are very capable of doing. But you know the goalkeepers we can become world-class. That's just bog standard, isn't it? Bless. You know that's going to happen. And most importantly, I know it's not quite the same as the men's games, because I don't know what the women get in terms of any monetary value for FA Cup being aired on whatever stream. But I'd like to think they get something. And so that's going to be a big thing for them, isn't it? A big game. And they're going to play for all their worth. Of course they are. But sorry, we're the Arsenal next. We're the holders of the FA Cup next. Yeah. So go on, girls, get it done. Might be a bit of a B team with, like she did before, and then just bring on your super subs. I've got every faith in that one. It's not the ideal timing, but it is what it is. Yeah, we can't help the weather. Next. What do
you think the score will be then, Andy? What are you going for?
Ooh, you're pushing me now. I think it could be another one where it'll take time to crank up. I don't know who'll be the super sub this time, that maybe will suddenly open the floodgates. Might not necessarily, I'm a big fan of hers, but it might not necessarily be Mariona this time. I don't know. But I think somebody's going to come on and suddenly, I could be totally wrong on this, but have that impact. Right, all right, big thing here. Will Manu be in goal again? Well, technically she should be, because it's cup day. But fair play, she did well. I love her as a person. That was instilled with the best confidence. So I'm going to keep the faith in Manu. What did we get last time? Was it 4-0? Was it 4? Oh, look at me now. Yeah, it was 4. No, 5. No, 4, sorry. I don't know. I'm going to actually go with 3-0. Anything else would be a big bonus. I just think because of in between the two games, that's so massive.
Yeah, that is the problem with it, but
yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, listen, I'd be happy with 1-0. Do you know what I mean? It could be a really lackluster, boring game. I don't care. I just want to win.
Yeah, no,
maybe
exactly.
bonus.
Exactly. No, just win the game. Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we should do. Greg says we'll beat City 7-1. They'll score from a Zinn's mistake. Well, yeah, we said that against Brighton and they didn't, did they? So maybe they won't. Egg says against Bristol Cup match. It's a cup match, FA Cup. The delayed one that was called off a couple of weeks ago. It's that FA Cup game, so it's going to be good. Ryan says, got to stay in the moment, like Renee says, and beat Chelsea first. Well, absolutely, yeah. But I mean, we haven't got a show between now and the game, so we're just going to talk about it now and give a score prediction because it's the next game after. I think we'll win. I'm going 4-0 with a Stina hat trick, is what I'm going for.
Oh, lovely.
So she'll start the game, I would imagine, and I think she'll score a hat trick, and then so we win 4-0. And that'll get that one done. Into the next round we go. Lovely stuff. Terry says Arsenal men got nothing in money playing in cup matches. They never win them. Well, no, that's true. They don't. Yeah, we get knocked out straight away, so they don't get any money, do they? So
well, yeah, you have to be in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You've got to win it to get the money, haven't you? Let's be honest. And we haven't managed to do that, have we? But yeah, I think we should beat Bristol City, no problem at all. And yeah, we'll look forward to that game as well. So it's another busy week, isn't it? Let's be honest. And of course, again, that game is on the same night that the men are playing in the Champions League. Not that we're particularly bothered, but it's just a little bit inconvenient, I suppose, isn't it? But it is what it is. We will be covering the Bristol City game here, of course, on Wednesday. You wouldn't expect anything else, let's be honest. So we look forward to seeing you for that one. So it has been the Arsenal Women's Show. It is the start of the weekend. Officially, the weekend can start. And what a weekend it is going to be. Let's be honest. Come on, it's going to be a fantastic weekend, isn't it? The men play Wolves tomorrow, but don't let that put you off because that's just what has to happen. It's all about Sunday, isn't it? Arsenal women play Chelsea away, second versus first in the table. Wow, this is going to be massive. You don't want to miss the game. You do not want to miss it. It kicks off at 12:30. I'll be here about 12:15. We'll go through the team news. We'll look at what team's been selected, and we'll get excited about the game. It is going to be fantastic. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be the game of the season. So that is coming up. Of course, I will be here tomorrow for the men's game about 2:45. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff away at Wolves, so that'll be good. So join me for that as well. And of course, Wednesday, as I said, we will be here for the FA Cup game, Arsenal against Bristol City. Colin says there, we were very nervous with only a 1-0 scoreline at half time. That Leslie Russo's goal steadied the nerves and opened the floodgates. Yeah, indeed it did, yeah. And I'm sure that will be a similar case to a few games. And that's why I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Keep it tight, defend properly, and build on that going forward in the game. If we do that on Sunday, then we've got a great chance of winning, and it's going to be great. Ag says there, what do you pay to see a match like Chelsea-Arsenal? I'm not sure what tickets at Chelsea's are. I mean, at the Emirates, it's about 12 quid, isn't it? In the Emirates, it's about that. I mean, I know Andreas has got a season ticket, so it's different. But individual match tickets at the Emirates are about 12 quid now, I think, for WSL. 10, 12 quid. Last time we paid about 8 quid, but we got a special deal with the supporters club, so it was cheaper. But I think they're about 12 quid, aren't they? Is that right?
That's the standard price.
Yeah, I think for the normal tickets, yeah.
Stamford Bridge, it could be £50, £15.
Yeah, maybe. It might be more at Stamford Bridge, yeah. But it's between £10 and £15 it'll be, something like that. And it's great value, isn't it? Let's be honest. Yeah. You know, to see that game, I mean, it's good value for the WSL anyway, because none of the tickets are expensive. And to see the quality of football that you now see in the WSL, it's an absolute bargain. And even if it's £15 to watch Chelsea versus Arsenal, it'd be worth paying that, wouldn't it? All day long. It's great value. And as long as the WSL remains great value, it's going to be fantastic. But it won't, because no doubt, the more popular it gets, like the Premier League, the tickets will go up, and eventually it will be just as expensive as the men's game. But, which is why we need to make the most of it, you know, while it's still cheap. Greg says, go to Stamford Bridge. You've got to wipe your feet coming out so you don't wear nice clothes. You don't wear nice clothes. Although Chelsea's quite posh, isn't it, I suppose? But anyway, the ground's not. Terry says, hit that like and subscribe button. Where else on a Friday can you get great entertainment? Well, exactly. Where can you? I don't know what else is on a Friday. Don't go down the pub though. Aggie says, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Bob Dylan. Is it? Well, it's certainly blowing in the wind tonight. Everything's been blowing in the wind today. Bins have been blowing over. Trees have been blowing over. It's been my days. What's it been like in Germany? Have you had wind over there, Andreas, or you been okay?
No, not so heavy wind today. it was very cold the last days, but today we had about 7 degrees plus, and no, it was very good condition. But anyway, we proved that we are able to play under the worst conditions. When you remember the game in December against Bayern Munich, the 3-2, it was cold, it was raining heavily, it was windy, and we won the game. So let's not talk about the weather conditions. They are the same for both teams, and we have to manage it, and we proved that we can deal with it.
Yeah, and I think Sunday's not going to be as bad anyway. I think the wind would have dropped off by then. So I don't think
it's fine down here. Yeah, it's fine.
Is it? I mean, today's been really. I mean, it's calming down now. It's been really, really. I mean, trees have been blowing over up here. Everything. It's been quite bad.
Oh, really? No. We had it quite wet and windy. Well, if it went out early, but no, by about sort of 11 o'clock. Yeah, there was a little breeze. It was a little bit gusty, but yeah, it was dry. Yeah, down south, it's fine.
Oh well, maybe that's all right. You know, we've just had it really bad up here today. Wind has been really bad. I say trees have been down.
Wow.
You know, rains have been disrupted. It's been a nightmare, but it's calming down a bit now. It is supposed to get better as the weekend goes along. So hopefully it won't be too bad now. But yeah, we've had a few. Yeah, we've had some bad weather here. Egg says calm weather in Sweden. See, why is it calm everywhere else? Why are we getting all the wind? That's not fair, is it? Germany's nice. Nice. So I'm getting bloody blown all over the place. So he says it was only windy down here until 12ish. Been lovely other than that. See, why has everyone else got nice weather? That's not fair, is it? I've had to basically hold everything down all day before it blows away. It's been terrible. Anyway, it is what it is. Like we said before, we can't predict the weather. We can't do anything about the weather, can we? Greg says it's beach weather down here, up to 8 degrees. Well, no, it's been mild temperatures up here. It's just been windy, like really, really windy. Ryan says, what do you call? Is that warm in Sweden? I don't know what you call warm in Sweden. I don't know. Egg says, and storm coming from USA. Yeah, well, that's where it's coming from. The storm's coming from the USA. That's where ours is coming from that side of the world. I don't think it's quite from USA exactly, but anyway, it's passing through. We'll be fine. And Sunday will be great anyway. It doesn't matter what the weather's like. We're going to enjoy the game because it's going to be brilliant. Anyway, this has been the Arsenal Women's Show, and we've enjoyed it as we always do. And we finally had some matches to talk about for the first time in what seems like forever. We've got 2 great matches, 2 great wins. We're marching on in the league. We're marching on in the League Cup. We've got the FA Cup to come, and of course, we have got Chelsea on Sunday. Well, what a weekend it's going to be. Fantastic, isn't it? So make sure you join us for all of that. Terry says, it must have been bad down the south coast because there are only 20 illegal boat crossings today. I wouldn't fancy crossing on a boat. It seemed pretty bad. Ag says +4 cells. That's not bad, is it, for Sweden in winter? Wow, that's almost like that's tropical for Sweden in winter. But no, it's been about 6 degrees here, but it's just the wind. Well, anyway, it seems to be going now, so we'll be fine. So yeah, I say it's been the Arsenal Women's Show. Thank you very much for joining us, Andreas. Great to have you with us again. Great to have you back from London, of course. Brilliant vlog last week. Have you enjoyed the show again?
Yeah, of course, I enjoyed the show, and it's great that we are in the middle of the season now, and that we can talk about games. It's so different than talking about what's coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. No, I'm in the middle of challenging games, and that's what we all want, and therefore I really enjoyed the show. And next time we meet, next Friday, we are after the Chelsea game, after the Bristol game, and in front of the Man City. So yeah, looking forward to everything that's coming, and of course, I'm excited for Sunday noon.
Yes, Sunday is going to be quite special, and yeah, next week's show could be quite interesting, couldn't it? If we've had a good week, next week's show you do not want to miss, because that's going to be quite special, isn't it? Ange as well, good halftime, Ange, super sub, Ange. Good to see you. You enjoyed the show?
Oh, of course, I always enjoyed the show, and I'd just like to say next week I might come on at half time. I might come on at 90 minutes. Depends on the score, doesn't it, really?
Well, it depends on when the manager selects you, doesn't it? It depends on how long the manager selects you to play.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Nah. I always enjoy being on. And actually, I have another excuse for tonight. No, my poor wee girl's really not very well at the moment. So she's coughing and spluttering and waiting to get her antibiotics, and I'm sneezing.
Oh, dear.
But no, all good, all good. Love being on here. Love you guys in the chat. It's lovely. You're a lovely family. Thank you.
It is a lovely family. It's good to have you on board with us as well. That's what we need. Ag says, good night. Thank you very much for joining us. Greg says, night all. Great show. Let's hope we're not crying after the show. I was like, we won't be. Well, we'll be crying with happiness. It'll be happy tears, won't it? It'll be happy tears.
I hope so.
It was good to be happy tears. Terry says, Richard, Lordy, Orange, Greg, Ag, and everyone in the chat, welcome to the weekend. Indeed, the weekend's what a weekend it is going to be, eh? The men are playing Wolves, the women are playing Chelsea. It is going to be exciting. It is going to be spectacular. And join us for all of it. I'll be here tomorrow, 2:45, and of course Sunday for the big one. That's what we're all here for. Sunday is going to be the day, isn't it? When we're going to see what Renee's all about, see what this team's all about, and it's you do not want to miss it. So thanks for watching, guys. This has been the Arsenal Women's Show. Thanks to Andreas, Lord Andreas, of course, Super Sub Ange, and of course all you guys in the chat. Fantastic as always. Thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully you'll see us again over the weekend, and it's going to be great. The Arsenal Women's Show is here. The weekend starts now. Come on, you Gunners. Let's enjoy the weekend, eh? Let's do it.
Bye.
Bye.
My mouse has disappeared, so I can't even turn it off because my mouse has stopped working. I don't know why. Ah, that's interesting, isn't it? Where's my mouse gone? It's not working. Oh, it's back again. Okay. See you tomorrow, guys.